As Big Bully Douglas right now showing absolutely no ring rust as he's taken Bryan Casey straight to the corner in that move right there.
Well, Bryan Casey being brought to the ring by the devious Charmin Charles. And Charles, as you know, anytime, whether it's a monster or an athlete with the caliber of Bryan Casey, it's a dangerous thing to be standing across the ring from an opponent who has Charmin Charles in his corner.
Well, if there's one thing Charmin Charles knows, it's how to protect his clients. He will make sure that Bryan Casey gets a win if he can at all costs, no matter what he can do to change the outcome of this match in favor of Bryan Casey. Right now, however, Big Bully Douglas has the full support of the Nick Gula Sports Arena crowd.
Duck under now from Big Bully Douglas, go behind, and Bryan Casey reverses. A little mat wrestling here as Bully sweeps him down with an arm drag from behind.
And right now just driving the knees into the rib cage and the arm of Bryan Casey in the center of the ring. Bryan with absolutely no help, dropping the leg on the arm, locks it into a triangle hold, and Casey looks like he's in a world of pain in the center of the ring. He's nowhere near the ropes. There's no way he can break this hold unless he muscles his way out.
Already as quickly as this thing has started, Big Bully Douglas in control just like that. Snap of a finger here, Scott.
While Big Bully Douglas not one to take his opponents lightly, he comes out, he's looking for a fight, he's ready for a fight, and right now the fight is being brought to Bryan Casey. Big Bully Douglas now shoving Casey in the corner. Ref's got to break that hold up. Bully's got to get him out of the corner. What a forearm shot from Bryan Casey, showing absolutely no fear in the ring with Big Bully Douglas.
And that was enough to do it to give Casey the upper hand. Irish whip off, Big Bully Douglas reverses. Off and a hip toss to Bryan Casey.
And that was a huge hip toss followed by a quick arm drag. And back in the center of the ring, Big Bully Douglas locking in the armbar. Once again in full control of this match. Bryan Casey needs to find some kind of advantage to get back into this match. Bully absolutely taking the fight to him, trying to regain his spots here at NWA, and is just absolutely making a name of himself at the hands of Bryan Casey.
Big Bully Douglas, like I said, still in control of this contest. Action continues here at the Nick Gula Sports Arena in Nashville, Tennessee.
And Bully Douglas in complete control, just the way he likes it. Bryan Casey quick with a knee shot into the gut, followed up by a couple of forearms, tries to whip him across as Bully reverses it. It looks like we're trying to get a couple of reverse arm drags here, and Bully quick with the backslide pin, 1, 2. However, Casey able to sneak his way out before the 3 count.
Not enough to get 3 from Big Bully Douglas, not enough to get a victory here on TV today, as Big Bully Douglas once again armbar applied onto Bryan Casey.
Well, even if Bully doesn't get the pinfall attempt, he knows exactly where his opponent is at all times, able to lock that armbar once again on Bryan Casey, just absolutely ripping that arm out of socket, trying to make Bryan Casey tap out, submit him in the middle of the ring, and get the clean early victory here at NWA. Armbar applied one more time, and you can see the look of pain on Bryan Casey's face.
Absolutely, Big Bully Douglas almost like trying to rip that arm of Bryan Casey right out of its socket, and the unrelentless assault onto the left arm of Casey continues.
Well, I'll tell you what, if Casey doesn't mount any type of offense soon, he may have to tap out. He may have to just throw in the towel and give up. That arm has got to be as dead as a... Wait a minute! No way! Casey just with a huge low blow, followed up with a huge clothesline, and he's got Bully down. 1, 2,
whoa!
Whoa!
And did the referee just not see the low blow, or what's going on here, Scott?
Ref must have been distracted on that one, Jason.
Big Bully Douglas still had enough strength to almost toss Bryan Casey through the top, or excuse me, the middle and the bottom rope as he kicked out of that one from Bryan Casey. And a huge DDT.
Huge DDT. Did you see the way Bully had his head slammed on the mat? Vertical press, 1, 2, didn't hook the leg, and Bully's still able to kick out. It's going to take a lot more than that to slow down the offense of Big Bully Douglas.
Bryan Casey now upper hand, and boy, how the tide has shifted in this contest. Bryan Casey on the upside of Big Bully Douglas in this one in Nashville.
And all it took was a dirty tactic from Bryan Casey. Nails that low blow on Big Bully Douglas, and he's able to turn the tide back in his favor, and after dropping him on his head with that DDT, is absolutely wrenching the head, trying to rip his head out, just as Bully was trying to rip his arm out.
And I'm surprised that Charmin Charles hasn't been as more active as he is. And right as I say that, you see him on the outside with the cane draped over the head of Big Bully Douglas, choking the life out of this man as Bryan Casey has the referee distracted.
Very, well, I guess you could say wise attempt there from Bryan Casey to keep the ref distracted as Charmin Charles works his magic on the side of the ring. And it looks like now Casey trying to suplex Big Bully Douglas, but I'll tell you, I think Bully's got the size. Quick roll up here, 1, 2. Only a 2 count. Is Casey able to muscle out? I don't know what he was thinking with that suplex. Bully has the size and strength advantage. It's going to take a lot to lift a man like Big Bully Douglas up off of his feet. Dropping the elbow, gets into the headlock in the center of the ring. Looks like, was he wrenching the eyes there? Looks like he was wrenching the eyes.
Absolutely.
The ref was doing.
Full hands right to the eyes of Big Bully Douglas, and now we see Charmin Charles coming around. Bryan Casey,
one more time.
Referee distracted once again, allowing Charmin Charles to get the upper hand on Big Bully Douglas. And this right here is what George Goulas needs to be looking at right now. He needs to be reviewing this tape and see Charmin Charles, every bit of illegal tactics there.
Well, not only that, but look at Bryan Casey. Bryan Casey, I don't know if he's had 5 legal moves in this match whatsoever. He's had the low blow, he's been raking the eyes, and look at him now, standing on the throat, using those ropes as leverage on Big Bully Douglas. I'll tell you what, he's certainly, well, he's certainly got a few illegal moves to make sure he gains the upper hand. It's almost like a rude gesture that he's been doing all match long to Big Bully Douglas.
And Bully now in that rear chin lock that's being applied by Bryan Casey.
Takes him down to the center of the mat with a chokehold, and the referee breaks it up before Bryan Casey breaks it up before the ref can make the 5 count.
And action continues, and we see Charmin Charles one more time. Cheap shot from the outside.
And now draping Bully, look at this. Draping Bully down. Just choking the life out of Big Bully Douglas as Bryan Casey distracting the referee one more time. Big Irish whip here. Bully into the opposite corner. Casey going for a splash, but is only met with the big dirty boot of Big Bully Douglas. Now Bully twisting him around. Big neck breaker in the center of the ring.
And Big Bully Douglas, after that neck breaker, both men down in this contest. Referee starting the count. And if neither men are able to get to their feet, we could have a double count out here, Scott.
Well, you know, it's taken a lot of energy. It's taken a lot of effort from both men in these matches. Casey draping the arm, only a 2 count. Bully able to muster up enough power to strength out of that pinfall attempt. And Casey now, Bully and Casey both back to their feet. And Bully with shots, those forearm shots, and Casey going right to the eyes. Follows it up with a forearm shot, comes off the ropes, clothesline, but Bully shakes it off.
And a second one, and Bully is not down yet. Casey off the ropes, and a huge power slam from Big Bully Douglas, and that could spell the end. But no, Bryan Casey able to kick out.
I don't know how he got out of that. Did you see the power? Did you see the speed, the strength, the snap on that power slam? One more time, Bully off the ropes, Casey off the ropes, shoulder tackle, flying shoulder tackle, and Bully drawing the strength of the hundreds in attendance here at the Nicholas Sports Arena, trying to get the power into his veins, trying to get that adrenaline flowing, barking, getting the crowd up, lifting him up to his shoulders. Could this be? Could it be the end? Drives him into the turnbuckle.
And down goes Bryan Casey with that slam from Big Bully Douglas, and he's got the match won here, Scott. He's got the victory, and Charmin Charles is up on the ropes one more time.
And now look at Bully trying to get Charmin Charles.
Wait a minute.
What's Casey? Casey's got Charles's cane.
He's got that cane. Oh, and he just cracked it over the back of Big Bully Douglas. And there's the neck breaker. We've seen it 100 times.
There's no way. It can't end this way. 1, 2, 3, and that's the end. Bryan Casey scores the victory over Big Bully Douglas in the dirtiest way possible.
Well, folks, he is your victor, Bryan Casey. We've got more NWA main event action as soon as we return.
Big Bully Douglas, I would wish you a Merry Christmas, but Bully, nothing's going to be merry for you, because you know why? You've done opened up the proverbial can of worms. Bully, tonight, you met wrestling royalty at its best. Like I said, Bully, no Merry Christmas for you, a painful Christmas. Tell him, Brian.
Big Bully Douglas, what I'm going to do to you is going to be simply rude.